Oh, well, okay. Well, I was waiting on Mr. Congo to ask a question, but I'm going to just go right into it.
Great.
Well, the beauty of today is, well, I must say, I'll give a little shout out to my cousin, Reverend Shanika Perry. She preached sunrise service today at Bethel AME.
Wow.
And what she preached is, all I do is win. And whenever people are counting you out, just remember God has one more move for you. So I thought that was a very powerful message, especially this being Resurrection Sunday, when the tomb with the stone was rolled away and you look in the tomb and Jesus is not there, but you know that he lives. So I'm just really excited to be here because it was the women who took the message back to the men to let them know that Jesus was not still buried. And so I think in this instance, and especially on Resurrection Sunday, I think it's important to recognize that as I'm running for the state senate, it will be a woman who goes to Dover to bring the message back to the Womentonians and the surrounding community to let them know what actually can be done.
And what was your decision on why you decided to run for Senate?
That's a great question. I really looked at a lot of the resources that had not been coming back to Wilmington. And it's not a knock against anyone else, but it's just that when you see how the system is set up politically here in this state, a lot of the resources come back to Wilmington from Dover. And so we need people who will be advocating for the Wilmingtonians so that we can get those resources back here as it pertains to education, as it pertains to crime, just the whole microcosm of things that need to happen. And if you look at our city, there's a whole lot that isn't happening. Now, it's not to say that we don't have good leaders, because we do. We have a great leader at the city council, at the helm of city council. We really have a good mayor. He's a good person and he cares about the city. It's just what needs to happen is people need to start working together because there's strength in numbers. And when we work together, we're unstoppable.
You know, I agree with you so much. There's a system that I don't want to knock anybody either, as you said, but I think it can be adjusted so that people who need more resource than some get a piece of that action. And the focus right now is not on the people who need it the most.
Right.
And making them comfortable. They have to have advocates.
Exactly.
And so I understand that I know you've done a great job at City Council.
Thank you very much.
And I know that you have really found, I guess, a system that you feel that you can help people without the resource that is required to keep them comfortable too. So I give you a lot of credit for dedicating your life to that because it's a big job.
It is.
It's a non-thanking job, but I think you get a lot of good out of knowing that you've done something good for people who would be affected by the system that don't have the chances that everybody else has. So my hat's off to you.
Well, thank you for your kind words, Mr. Congo. But the greatest part of it is just being a public servant and doing God's work. So a lot of times you don't have to look for a thank you from man. As long as you know that you're laying up your treasures in heaven, then that's what really counts.
You know, I guess one of the things that I've been really, really excited when I see you is that the way you went in was the way you remained. And by that I mean you went in with the idea that you wanted to be a servant to the people who put you there, and you continuously just worked so hard, and unusually hard, more than you get to see from a lot of folk that are elected. I just take my hat off to you for that. Wherever I hear about you, it's you're working hard, and it's just, I mean, you've just done a fantastic job, and I know what you're saying about, because it's important that we learn more about Dover and how Dover can support this city.
Yes.
And be helpful. So we do need people down there that can't be turned around,
Right.
but bring the information so that we know how to upgrade the quality of life for
Exactly.
for folks who are having a hard time today.
Because there are parts of our city that are actually forgotten, and that should not be. We should be working for all people, not just the voters. And so often you find that the communities where people vote, you know where people vote. You can just drive the city of Wilmington and see where the voters are. But we need to be concerned about the least of these as well, those that don't vote, and let's get them educated and empowered so that they desire to be a part of the process. And so often that has not been happening. So I just really would like to go in and make a difference and start that process and getting people empowered and educated so that they want to make a difference in their communities.
That's very true.
What other key points are you going to focus on your road to the Senate? What are some of the other things that you have in mind that you're going to kind of focus on?
Well, actually, we have Captain Akil with us here, so and it's a blessing because I've been partnering with the WPD and, of course, having Councilman Bob Williams and then also Councilman Congo, partnering with them as well, and just doing a lot of work in the community and letting people know that your community police officers are there for you. And so often our communities, they kind of don't want to have those relationships with the police, and that was imperative for me to come in and say to my constituents, the police can be your friends. They're not just here to lock up your loved ones. They're here if you need to talk to someone, the officer can be here for you. And with that in mind, one of the things that I've been working on, I'm the spokeswoman for the Delaware repeal, which is the entity to abolish the death penalty. And it's the implementation of the death penalty here in Delaware that I believe is the reason why the death penalty needs to be abolished. And part of that is in Delaware, you don't have to have a unanimous jury decision. 9 people can say that they want me sentenced to death if I've committed a crime. At least can all 12 say, hey, we're going to sentence you to death. You don't need a unanimous jury decision. And then the cost of the death penalty is astronomical. And that's money that we could be putting toward public safety for our police and fire, and as well as education. So we're putting money in the wrong areas. And then we also need to look at the schoolhouse to jailhouse track. Now, and I know it can't be completely abolished, but for minor issues, Aaron, if you hit me and I hit you back, and on a Monday and Tuesday we're in the lunchroom and we're having lunch together and we're peaceful, it should be the end of it. But a school resource officer can come in and I can be incarcerated, and heaven only knows how much time I'll actually serve in the juvenile justice system. And now my life is ruined. And so many people don't realize that if you have a felony as a juvenile, then you can't go into the military. You can't get financial aid to go to college. So how does a child who had a minor situation that was turned into a felony because they couldn't afford legal representation, how do they make their lives better? So it's a setup. But now what I'm trying to do is change that system so that our children aren't set up anymore in a negative way, but we can set them up in a positive way, and our babies can start going to college, the military, and they can further their education and be assets to our community. And that's where Captain Akil comes in.
All right, maybe we can hear from it.
Good evening. Mr. Congo, Aaron, and Councilwoman. I want to first of all thank Almighty God for giving the opportunity to serve not only the city of Wilmington, the Wilmington Police Department, and the constituents of the city itself. Initially, I came to give credit or thank the community for supporting me in a difficult time when I was going through at the Wilmington Police Department. Like I said, I want to thank God. I want to thank all those from the religious community, those from the public safety, those from the governmental community, those from the spiritual community, those who I work with, both sworn and civilian, and the community at large. I'm with Ms. Dorsey. I'm about looking at how we move forward. There's always a system, there's always structure that has come up. What do we do? We understand what this system is doing. We understand certain things aren't processing properly. Now, how do we change it? First of all, it has to start with the individual. The individual has to make that initial commitment. But you can't make that commitment if you don't change yourself, if you don't have the tools to equip yourself to change. So these are the things that I try to, to adhere to and to try to bring about, networking with everyone. I've known you for years. It was you who came to me one time and says, hey, I support you. I've seen you in the community. You may think those words are just general, but they mean a lot. They mean a lot to me. They mean a lot when the individuals in the community who are not the prime or the so-called looked at as the best in society come up and say, hey, you know, we know what was going on wasn't correct. You know, we support you, brother. You know, hang in there, do those things. It means a lot. It's not so much that there's always two sides to a story than the truth. But the thing about it is they looked at my character. They knew who I was as a person who has been on the job for over 30 years. And they maintained that they were giving me my integrity and my dignity and the honor of what I was serving as far as this profession. Because I believe that when you talked about the community, why they don't have that interaction, because they don't believe it's an honorable profession. They don't believe that they have access, that they have a contribution to give. We need young individuals, young men and women, of all, being diverse, but specifically within our communities, the African American and Hispanic community, to look at it and say, this is an honorable profession. It's not anything derogatory, that you stand up, you believe in yourself, and you define yourself. My thing has been that, yes, I'm a young man, I'm a man now, I'm a Muslim, and I define myself by God, His messengers, and how I look at the world and how it comes in. But that doesn't mean I'm anti-community, I'm anti-police. I'm pro myself and those who I can try to help. And I believe that this tradition, this legacy of the Wilmington Police Department is an honorable profession, and I love what I do. So in that essence, I want to bring that out, that there's others who can come and love what they do. There's officers on here now that love what they do, of all walks of life, both in leadership and, you know, as just coming on. But they have to decide if Wilmington is the place to be somebody. Are we Wilmington's finest? Absolutely. I hold to that. My swagger comes through that we are Wilmington's finest. And there's a lot of brothers, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who believe that, you know, and it's not, like you said, it's not whether anyone else believes that. I believe that before God, and just being honorable in that profession. So yes, we are Wilmington Police, worldwide, Wilmington's finest, and I believe in that.
You know, I went away and I was trained as a social worker. I went to college and got a degree in accounting, but when I started working for the YMCA, I thought that was going to be my career. So I went away once, and I was, you know, just trying to find out more about behavior, and I was trained, you know, to do that. And what I see with the Wilmington Police Department in this city is something that they call, in social work, the inaccurate perception to the map of reality. And I think that policemen and the people that they serve both have that inaccurate perception. And what you described and how I've seen you as a policeman, I've never seen you as an unfair. I always saw you with the citizens in mind first. And if you do have to lock them up, you do. But to help lives, I've only seen you in that role, and that's what I call the accurate perception. So many experiences that I've seen, there's been an inaccurate perception to what both the citizens see policemen, when it takes everybody together to make this a safe place to live. I see we're kind of running out of time too here.
I appreciate
But we'd like to have you both back, and I would like to see you both on, you know, the Norman is no longer the Crossfire guy anymore. So I think that you two would do well on that Crossfire, because that's what we need to know in order to understand things better and get a different side of you know, another point of view, as it says.
But could I just say one thing, Ms. Congo? And when you talk about that perception, it also comes from your experiences and also comes from your interaction. If your interaction is negative on either side, and you don't go inside yourself to go beyond that, then it will be like that. You know, we all come from different backgrounds and makeups. And when I do diversity, when I've taught diversity and I've spoken, I'm saying everybody has something to bring to the table.
That's right.
Everybody has something to bring to the table. You are who you are. You should be grateful and you should be ecstatic and proud of that because God created that. And now what you do is you take that entity, because in the Quran it talks about, God says, I have made you into nations and tribes that you may know one another, not despise one another. He said the best of you is the most God conscious and righteous of you. And all of us, no matter what nationality you are, have that. But do we want to tap in that and bring it forth? So I thank you.
Well, thank you. And I thank you for coming on and making this show the show that it is. It's folks like you who do that. We're going to have to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Thank you so very much for tuning back into the Congo Hour. This hour we have Mr. Lawrence and Mrs. Wright that is going to be talking about the Howard High School reunion and some of the scholarships that you have afforded to some of the kids.
Yeah, correct. And first of all, let me say thank you to you and Sammy for having us, and happy Easter to all your listening audience, or rather your viewing audience. Yeah, May 3rd at the Longshoreman Hall, we're having our 27th annual All Classes Cabaret. And it's a twofold purpose, though, with the cabaret. One is to continue the legacy of Howard, and the other part is our scholarship fund. The cabaret is our major fundraiser for our scholarship fund, and over the last half a dozen years or so, we've given about roughly $25,000 in scholarships to Howard seniors.
Awesome.
And what we would like to see is as many people as possible out May 3rd, Longshoreman from 9 to 1. It's a BYOB, your own food, those kind of a thing. And we'll have Howard memorabilia on sale, though, T-shirts, sweatshirts, that type of thing, though, you know, for anybody who attends.
What's the cost of the cabaret?
Okay. The cost is $25.
Okay.
And that's, you know, for the entertainment that you're going to be getting, though, enjoying yourself, though, knowing that you're doing something for a good cause, though, twofold good cause. One, the legacy of Howard, and two, the scholarship fund and having a good time, though, it's a bargain, and we like to see as many people there as possible.
And how can they go about getting the tickets?
Okay, they can get tickets, though, they can call 302-764-0714 for ticket information.
Okay. One more time? Sorry, Mr. Cox.
302-764-0714.
You know, Howard, not only because I went there, but because I had a tremendous experience there. And I think that I've gone to other schools, and there was a air about the relationships between the students and the teachers. There was a effort, even when opportunities were not available, we were being trained to be prepared for those opportunities when they became available to us way back in the 50s.
Absolutely. And at that time, though, one of the things that the teachers at Howard, though, they had a stake in their students and their kids doing well. And they would tell you that. They would tell you that we need to see you do well, though, because when you do well, we do well.
It was just so, I guess, warm. You know, you hear about stories about students being treated in a certain way. Now, they didn't take a lot of crap back then.
Oh, absolutely
I
not.
mean, you might get hit in the head with anything. But at the same time, you always felt loved. And you knew that if you got hit in the head, it was your own fault.
Absolutely.
So I think all of us who have been there should take the opportunity to keep, as they say, the bloodstained banner of Howard High.
Yep.
And I sure will participate, although I'll be out of town that time. But I think we all who have had that, and those who didn't have it, should understand the true meaning of Howard High.
Oh, absolutely, though, because Howard has a rich and storied tradition, though. And if you lived in Delaware, though, more likely than not, if you didn't go to Howard, you had a relative, a friend, a cousin, somebody in your family did. Because at one point in time, Howard was the only high school for African Americans in the state of Delaware. And a almost little known fact about Howard is that Howard was part of the 1954 Brown versus the Board of Education decision. And one of the lawyers there who became our first African American Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall, one of the lawyers who assisted him on that case was Louis L. Redding, though back then everybody just called him Lawyer Redding. But he was a Howard graduate, though, and he assisted on the Brown versus Board of Education decision. Another thing that some people don't know about Howard is Howard's on the National Historical Registry.
Yeah.
I see you have a few notes over there. Young lady. We don't want it to get by without those notes being managed.
Yes, we didn't want to miss sharing anything, but my name is Sandy Wright, and I've been serving on the Howard board. I think it's been over 10 years now. And where I come in at is I knew Pauline Young and Yvonne Jensen. They were my neighbors because I lived in Arden for many years. And when he talked about trying to preserve the rich heritage and the legacy of Howard, one of the things that we provide is a newsletter to the members that are a part of the Howard membership. And in those newsletters, we are trying to put information in there about the current things that are going on with a lot of the graduates or the people that have moved on. I mean, we had Johnson in there, that the Tuskegee Airmen gentleman, that they had a great event to give him his just dues. We covered that. We did the 40th anniversary of the basketball team. They celebrated that, which was spearheaded by Mark Sills. We covered that in our newsletter. So what we're asking the members and the people to do is to try to give us information so that we can carry on the legacy of what is going on with Howard graduates. So many great and phenomenal things are going on, and one of the ways that we can get that information out and share it is through the newsletter. So we're asking people to do that, and also we have what we call a Wall of Fame. There's information that we take. There's, matter of fact, you can go online and get the applications, and people can refer people that they think that should go into what we call our Wall of Fame. And matter of fact, we just had a Wall of Fame event months ago, but we actually blow up their picture. They'll go along, and I think Yvonne Jensen was the first one to be honored, and Loper is in there, several others into this Wall of Fame. So we're doing things to try to continue the legacy, but we need the help of the people. We have so many ideas, and we're asking the audience, we're asking people, matter of fact, to come upon the board, because a lot of the board is getting older now. You know, I'm one of the young bloods there, but I see the transition and the things taking place, and we need people that's going to help serve on the committees to do what? Help continue this rich heritage and legacy. And if we don't do it, the job is not going to get done. We represent the old school. We're talking about the 1800s all the way up to like 1975. So that's where our focal point is, and it's so important that we carry the legacy of Howard. And there's, you know, we're looking for ideas, suggestions, but we're doing the best that we can do, but we need help. We need people that are going to come aboard our memberships and to you know, come to our meetings, and they're every fourth Tuesday at 7. We've been talking it, we've been sharing it, even at our all classes reunion dance. We keep putting it out there, but I see the board weaning down a little bit, but we need the people to come and participate. And if you are concerned about Howard, we would, you know, make that plea today for you to come upon the board to help us to keep the legacy going. So, you know, that's what I wanted to get out there. We really need help to keep the legacy moving, because we have ideas, but you know, for yourself, you need people behind things to get things done. So that's some of the things that I
one
wanted
more
to share.
time, what is the date for the...
It's May the 3rd. Our all classes reunion dance is May the 3rd, 9 to 1 p.m. at the Longshoremen's Hall.
Okay.
And it's only $25. It benefits the scholarships as well as helping us to preserve the legacy of Howard.
Is there a phone number that can be called to?
Alan?
Yes. Yeah, you can call 302-764-0714. Again, that's 302-764-0714.
And the last thing I just want to share, that even to become a member, it's only $20 a year, or there's like a $200 lifetime membership fee. And that way you can get on the mailing list so that you can see what's going on in the newsletter. And we try to keep people up to date with what the board is doing and what's going on with Howard in terms of the old school part. So, that would be great if, you could become a member.
Well, that's wonderful, and we're just so glad to know that. I guess I'm a little disappointed that I won't get there and see my old friends. But we're gonna be out of town, and you sure you don't want to move that date up a little bit? But anyway, everyone Howard who don't know Howard could come to the dance and get to see the kind of people that Howard graduated. And I think you'll want to become an associate member if you didn't graduate, because it's worth it. Again, we want to thank you both for coming.
Thank you for
And
having
we
us.
surely hope that the event is very, very simple. And anything I can do to help out, just don't hesitate to call. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with
Mr. Allen.
Okay.
Thank you so much again for tuning in to the Congo Hour. I have a correction. It's actually Sean Baker, not Sean Allen, and he's going to be talking about the Wilmington Wellness Day. Mr. Baker?
Thank you. We're glad to be on, glad to discuss it, glad to talk about it. Wilmington Wellness Day is going to be this Saturday, Rodney Square, from 11 to 3 in the afternoon. We expect to have about 70 exhibitors from all around Newcastle County, all around the state of Delaware, to come in and just give people a chance to come in and get some screening. Health screening, vision screening, eye screening, dental screening, all kinds of screening is going on. Our theme this year is Million Man Hearts, and we want to stop people from having heart attacks and strokes, about 1 million between now and 2017. So that's what our theme is, and that's what we're trying to do. We're looking to go into Wilmington Health Planning Council for Wilmington Wellness for 2020. So that's what we're doing. That's what it's going to be, and we're looking forward to it.
There's a saying that your greatest wealth is your health.
Ooh. Okay.
And sometimes we don't miss it, or we abuse it until it's too late. And I think that at one time we just didn't have the knowledge or the ability to understand the importance of it. And I just take my hats off to guys like yourself who have understood it and then making a great effort to help as many people as they can to have a quality life. And that this also gives you a chance. So many things can be, I guess, taken care of if it's done early enough. Right. And so I guess this is sort of what this screening does. It brings to your attention that you do have a little problem, and let's get rid of it.
Right. Well, through the mayor's office, the city council is helping us with this initiative and trying to do this. We're trying to do, we want to do that. We want people to come in because all the screenings are free. There's no charge for anything. Everything's free. Christina Care is helping us. AstraZeneca is helping us. We have a Delaware Division of Public Health. We have about 8 title sponsors that are going to come in, set up their van. St. Francis Hospital is one of them. And to set up and do all the screenings, and they're all free of charge. We're going to have some healthy meals. The Central Branch YMCA is coming on with the Kids Zone. So while the parents are getting the screening, the kids can be participating in the moon bounce or different kind of activities. We have Summer Rose coming on to do the line dance. We're going to have some line dances, some different kind of activities. And we just want people to come in and get tested and find out what's wrong. And then we're going to have a follow-up after that with their phone numbers and things that we can get back to them if there is something wrong, or even if something is right. We always worry about something being wrong. How about if everything is right and we let you know that your blood pressure's fine, it's 120/80 or 110/70, and everything is going well. So we're looking forward to it. We had a committee of about 12 different people trying to put it together alongside Wilmington Health Planning Council to try to make this effort a success. We usually had it in September, but this year we decided to move it to April because there were so many things going on in September that we moved it to April to try to give us some more time to do it. So we're looking forward to it. We hope to get around between 2,500 people, between 2,500 and 3,000 people to come down to Rodney Square. And it's supposed to be 70 degrees and a beautiful day, so hopefully God will assist us with that because that's his call. We have nothing to do with that. All the 75 inches of snow and everything that we had this year, there's nothing we can do about it. People complain and harp. That's his call. That's not our call. But we appreciate that, and we appreciate coming on to be able to talk about it, to try to help everyone.
Is there a number someone can call for more information?
Sure, 576-3810, and Ms. Ruth at Parks and Rec will answer and give you all the details about Wilmington Wellness Day.
Thank you so very much for sharing that information. Again, you want to give that number?
302-576-3810.
I see you have a lot of numbers here. Is that something that we need to know about?
Well, these are the exhibitors that are all coming on. There's like 75 of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, 75 exhibitors. We're going to start 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, trying to set up the tables and bring the vans in and get the screenings done. Hotel DuPont has also given us 2 or 3 rooms in there at Hotel DuPont right there at Rodney Square, so we can do some inside screenings. Some things need to be done inside. The dental, I think, needs to be done inside, and a couple other screenings need to be done inside. But that's what this list is. This list is all the people that are coming and going to set up their tables and do their thing.
Wow.
Christina Care is one of our biggest sponsors, but they're doing a lot of things, and also with St. Francis Hospital. So we're collaborating with them, and we're just looking forward to it. Have a good time, come and enjoy themselves, get some screening, give out some food, give out some candy, give out some balloons, and just enjoy.
Is this sponsored by Parks and Recreation?
Well, we're the lead people, but we're doing some sponsoring, but we're collaborating with a lot of different organizations, but we're the lead sponsor. We kind of, the mayor's office kind of gave it to us and said, get it done. It's been done for the last 12 or 13 years. This is our 13th annual Wilmington Wellness Day, so we've kind of been the lead sponsor. But we collaborate with a lot of different organizations to make it happen.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, if there's anything else you want to talk about, or
no, we have a lot of different activities coming up in Parks and Rec now. Our summer activities with our youth basketball all-star game tomorrow night, and then we go into our May 28th and 29th, the National Health and Fitness Day, with all the seniors come down to Christina Park, and we kind of have a little picnic and we do some things. We have our Tennis in the Streets program coming up on May 16th, which is about 800 youth, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. So our programs are just continually moving. We're looking forward to the summer, looking forward to opening up the pools, and looking forward to providing activities for the citizens of Wilmington.
Awesome.
well, sounds great. And so thanks a lot for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Congo. We're glad to be here.
And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Aaron and
You can do Sammy's Corner if you like.
we only got 3 minutes. We can't do that. I like to talk bad about Mrs. Ruth, but it takes more than 3 minutes to do that. So.
Miss Ruthine Ruth?
Miss Ruthine Ruth. She's a great friend.
Okay. And a great lady.
She is.
She just got an award the other night at our All Awards banquet.
No
We gave her a
kidding.
plaque from the Youth and Family Division for the work that she does in Parks and Rec, coming in every day, manning the front desk, answering 1,000 questions. She just does a great job.
Well, that's great. Yeah,
I'll tell her you asked for it.
Tell her I asked for it, and she'll probably say bad things about it.
I doubt that, Mr. Congo. I doubt that.
Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes with the death notices and community news.
Yes.
Thank you, and welcome back to
Congo Hour. We will have our funeral announcements and community news. We want to send out a special prayer to Mr. Alfred Johnson, who is hospitalized in St. Francis Hospital. We're asking that you continue to pray for his health. Mr. Rasheen Rovell, age 31, who departed this life April 12, 2014. His funeral service took place Friday, April 18th at Ezon Fair Baptist Church in Wilmington, Delaware. His burial will be announced at a later time and date. Miss Ruth Pinkett, age 86, departed this life April 14th, 2014. Her funeral services took place Saturday, April 19th at the Buttonwood United Methodist Church in Newcastle, Delaware. Her burial took place at Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Miss Joyce Stallings, Mr. Michael Chandler, age 45. Departed this life April 11th, 2014. His funeral services took place took place Saturday, April 19th at Newark United Pentecostal Church. His burial took place at Grace Lawn Memorial Park. Miss Joyce Stallings, age 69, departed this life April 16th, 2014. Her funeral service will take place noon Tuesday, April 22nd at Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church, 3079 Newcastle Avenue, Newcastle, Delaware. The viewing will be from 10 to 11:45 a.m. Her burial will take place at the Gracelawn Memorial Park. Miss Jermaine Boston, age 60, departed this life April 10th, 2014. Her services will take place 1 p.m. Monday, April 28th at the Congo Funeral Home, 201 North Gray Avenue, with the viewing from 11 to 12:45 p.m., and our burial will be private. Miss Tanisha Scott, age 27, departed this life April 12, 2014. Her funeral services will take place 10 a.m. Saturday, April 26 at New Destiny Fellowship, 906 East 16th Street. Viewing will be from 8 to 9:45. The burial will take place at the All Saints Cemetery. Mr. Ralph Tompkins, age 64, departed this life April 11th, 2014. His janazah service took place Friday, April 18th at Masjid on the Northeast Boulevard in Wilmington. At the Masjid on the Northeast Boulevard in Wilmington. His burial took place in the Haven Memorial Park. Funeral services will be announced for Ms. Sharonda Gross, who departed this life April 17th, 2014. Mr. James Johnson, age 34, who departed this life April 16th. And the Reverend Lolita Jackson, who is the senior pastor of the Friendship Baptist Church. Our prayers go out to that church. May God keep them and bless them. Chippy AMU Church Annual Women's Day Service will take place Sunday, April 27th at 3 p.m. Dinner will be served at 1:45, and the guest preacher will be Wilmington, Delaware's very own Bishop Aretha Morton from Tabernacle Full Gospel Church. Destination NSU will be having a information session at the Doubletree located at 700 North King Street, Wilmington, Delaware. You have it's going to be April 26, 2014 at 10 a.m. and there is a $45 application fee waiver. For more information, you can call 757-823-9380, or you can go online at admissions@nsu.edu. Got drugs. Turn in unused expired medication for safe disposal. Saturday, April 26, 2014. You can do this from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can visit DelawareHealthyHomes.org or call 800-882-9539 or to find out a collection site near you. Art and Jazz. Where? At the Central Baptist Church. Reverend T.S. Killing, 9th and Pine Street, Wilmington, Delaware, is going to be held May 2nd, 2014 from 6 to 8:30 p.m. There is going to be a love offering and refreshments offered at that particular event. Again, if you needed any more information about any of our funeral services or need information about anything that was said on the show, you may contact us at 302-652-887, or you may go online to contact us. Again, we thank you so very much for tuning in to the Congo Hour. We hope that it was very informative, and we hope everyone enjoys their delicious